Jamie, you're back at Merkson Castle School today. What was your overriding emotion when you drove through the gates this morning?
I think like every time I come back to the school, there's a feeling of comfort. There's something that is difficult to explain. There's a huge amount of familiarity. There's a huge amount of good memories and emotions that flow back. It's a really lovely, warm place to come back to.
What would you say your fondest memories are from your time at Merkson?
I actually think some of my fondest memories off the sports field were in the day room. When we had downtime from school, being able to sit and enjoy each other's company, tomfoolery, sometimes maybe being a little bit stupid or being a bit unruly, but you know, those occasions when you leave school, you look back on and you realise that they really were the best days of your life in lots of different ways, and not that I would like to go back to them now and say that I've missed them terribly, but there's a real fondness to them that you know I'll always remember very fondly.
And how important would you say the school was after you left?
I think I think school for me was a huge deal. It undoubtedly was the springboard onto going further with rugby. It was the springboard into, after rugby, into the role that I now do in finance. The school was paramount to, you know, a hugely important part of my life. And there are so many people that were involved in that within the school that had roles to play in that development. People that taught me some important lessons, people that could put an arm around my shoulder when I needed an arm around my shoulder. And these are the things I think that make you have these emotions when you come back to the school.
And when you bump into your former teachers, it must be a nice thing. Different though from being at school.
Yeah, I mean, when I came back to the reunion, I met Chispa Garcia, Ms. Prini Garcia, who was my Spanish teacher when I was at the school, and she's now, or she was the head of Laidlaw House. I think she's just retired. But to come back 20 years later and see a familiar face, somebody that you got on so well with a big beaming smile meeting you at the school was a wonderful feeling. So.
And you keep in touch with a lot of your former classmates?
Yeah, very lucky. We had a great year. And everyone has very much stayed together. We play golf at least once a year, normally twice a year as a group, and we work really hard to keep in touch with each other. So there are many of my peer groups, Simon Hanna and Peter Rutherford and Des Armstrong, who I see regularly. Francis Semple I work with in finance as well, so I see him almost on a daily basis. And then there's a crowd that were a bit older who I played rugby with, the likes of Duncan Hodge and Craig Joyner, and so you know there's a lovely cross section across a few years, and I even catch up with Bob Foreman every now and again on the golf course. So you know there's a lovely connection back to Merkson and most of the things that I do going forward.
So just summing up, what would you say Merkson means to you?
Well, I think I have three boys, and I think I would love to give them all this experience. I had the most amazing 4 years at school here. I got so much out of it, and you know, I think from that perspective, giving them that same opportunity would be a wonderful thing to do.